says, yes, they've buggered off to go and watch Stoke City play Port Vale now. Well, 12 weeks later, I got my next brown envelope in Vancouver. I opened it up, there's a ticket. I said, what's this? He says, have you got anything to ship to Britain? I said, no, I've got a waterbed. But Carl Valentine likes it, so he'll have it. He says, I've just sold you to Liverpool Football Club for £250,000. And by the way, you're going tonight. So I've got all my gear ready and I flew over to Britain. Well, when I got to Britain, I thought I was going to get picked up at Heathrow. It didn't happen. So I rang the club. I said, Mr. Paisley, Bruce Grobbelaar, I've just landed at Heathrow Airport. And he just said, yep. Do you know where Manchester is? And he put the phone down. So eventually I got to Manchester. I'm thinking 36 miles down the road, they're going to come pick you up. No, I phone up Liverpool Football Club. I get the secretary. She says, you know where Liverpool is? And puts the phone down. I'm driving into Liverpool. I don't know where I'm going. I'm in a hire car. But I remember what my mother said. All cities, the people that know everywhere in all cities are the black cab drivers. So I saw this line of black cabs in Liverpool, stopped, went up to the front one, knocked on the window. He wound it down. Excuse my language, ladies, you're going to hear a little bit of swearing here. And he said, all right there, lad, what you want? I said, these immortal words you should never say to a black cabbie from Liverpool. I said, excuse me, do you know where Anfield is? Do I fucking know where Anfield is? Of course I do, dickhead. Get in. I said, I've got a vehicle. Oh, well, you better follow me now, mate. And I followed him all the way to Anfield. I got there, it was 4:30 in the afternoon, the gates are shut. And believe me when I say Anfield was even worse than Somerstown in those days. But I didn't want to stay there. So I waited for this guy to stop. I went, thank you very much. He said, that's £5. So I gave him £5 and I went back into town. I went to all the hotels in the city, trying to find somewhere to stay. Eventually I saw a little sign on a little pub called the Beehive. It said vacancies. So I went into the barman and I said, excuse me, have you got any rooms for tonight? He said, rooms? I said, yes, I saw a sign on the window saying vacancies. He says, yes, that's for a barman. He said, but try Alcatraz across the road. I said, Alcatraz? He said, yes, the Adelphi Hotel. And I remember going in those big doors of the Adelphi Hotel. There's lounges and leather lounges. I didn't take any notice of them. I went up to the receptionist. I said, excuse me, have you got any rooms for tonight? She said, I'm sorry, we're full. And as I turned around, I noticed Tom Saunders giving Bob Paisley a £1 note, saying to him, I never thought he would get here. That's how I came to Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen. The 5 managers that I worked under at Anfield, the first one was, of course, Bob Paisley. Bob Paisley was one of the greats, and he is still one of the greats. But there's one thing about Bob Paisley that you wouldn't know about. He hates anybody knocking on his door and asking for things. He'd rather just come and give you the present afterwards, before you come. So this one particular season, Ronnie Whelan had scored 2 goals at the West Bromwich Albion. So the next game we were playing against Manchester United, and those tickets are like rocking horse shit. So you couldn't get anything. We only got 2 tickets. So all week, Ronnie Whelan's asking all the players, listen guys, can I borrow your 2 tickets? Because I want to bring my mother and father and then my brother and sister. Because when I was a youngster, I supported Manchester United. So we kept our tickets close to ourselves. And in the end, David Johnson said, why don't you go and ask Bob Paisley? So the whole week he's grinding up his courage. On the Friday he says, right, I'm going to go and ask him. Of course he goes out of the dressing room, right down the corridor and knocks on the door. And all he hears is, yeah, come in, share the door, sit down. And then there's 16 pairs of feet running down the corridor because all the players are going to come and listen to what he's going to say. So he sits down and he says, what do you want? He says, well, boss, I scored 2 goals against West Brom last week, and this week we're playing against my boyhood team, Manchester United. I supported them as a youngster. So I've only got 2 tickets, and I want to bring my mother and my father and my brother and my sister over to watch the game, so I need another 2 tickets. There was a silence, and all of a sudden you hear, yep, you can have 5, you're not bloody playing. And he didn't. The second manager I worked under was, of course, Smoking Joe Fagan. Joe Fagan, to me, was amongst the greats of managers, because anybody who wins 5 trophies in 2 years must hold that accolade. But his finest hour was probably the '84 Cup final against Rome, in Rome. And people said to me, why did you do what you did, and what made you do it? Well, it's very easy, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you, before we got into the stadium, the bus driver, 2 directors, the manager, the coaches, the whole team, and 2 guys that we picked up off the street, we were stoned. And it wasn't by taking any substance, it was by rocks coming through the window of the bus. So we knew we were in a hostile situation. Well, we played the game, we drew 1-1, extra time, no goals. And there's old Smoking Joe, Uncle Joe. He must have been on his 13th cigarette. Right, guys, I'm just going to give you the positions and the, first to take a penalty, Phil Neal. Stevie Nichols second. Souness third, yes. Rashid fourth. Dalglish fifth. To which Kenny replies, excuse me, boss, you substituted me in the 86th minute. He's got 2 fags going on, oh shit. He says, well, hold on, who came on for you? He looks over on the ground, there's a fella lying on his back. Michael Robinson, you've been on the field 8 minutes, you got that cramp? He's gone, where's Lawrenson and Hansen? He turns around, they're on the halfway line waving at our fans. He's just trying to get another penalty taker. He's going, Sammy Lee, where's Sammy? Sammy Lee, Sammy. Do you know when you played an extra game, extra time, the grass grows a little higher? Sammy's trying to. In the end, there were 2 people standing like that. He looks at me, he looks at Alan Kennedy, and he goes, Bruce, you've taken the 5th penalty. Well, it never happened like that, ladies and gentlemen. The coin goes up from the referee, comes down. Liverpool in the Roma end. Phil Neal is now tying his bootlaces. So Stevie Nichols thinks, oops, he picks the ball up and starts walking into the box. Phil Neal says to the boss, excuse me, it should be me. Let's run with it, he says. Well, we're watching this chap going to the box, Stevie Nichols. I roomed with him for 6 years, so I know. He's not the full shilling. He's far from it, believe me. He tries to squeeze his size 13 feet into size 11 boots. So of course, below the toe, it's like this. So there he is. Put the ball down. And what does he do? We used to call him shovelfoot, by the way. What does he do? He goes, yeah. Shovelfoots the ball straight over the ball. Now I didn't even have to look up when I got this arm around me. I could smell the cigarette. And all I heard was, excuse me, young man, myself and the coaches, the captain and the team, the chairman and the directors, the wives and the girlfriends, and I'm thinking, where's he going with this? And the 20,000 fans that came to watch, I'm not going to blame you. Oh, Jesus. If you can't stop a ball from 12 yards. And I'm going, geez, I've heard the blame word. Oh, you said not. I said, thanks, Gaffer. And as I walked away, he said, but try and put them off. I go past Stevie Nichols. I said, thanks for that. He said, bugger off and do your own job. And I remember getting onto the line of the goal. And I've been the goalkeeping coach out in the United States now for about 4 or 5 years. And I tell my goalkeepers, whenever you get in that position in a shootout, the first penalty, don't go anywhere. He's just as nervous as you, and that ball's just going to come around me. Well, I didn't listen. I went right, the ball came straight down the middle, clipped my fingers, and went in the back of the net. I've gone to myself, you stupid bugger.